I'd like to welcome you to the Lexington County School District 3 Board of Trustees regular monthly meeting. It is Tuesday, May the 14th, 6 p.m. We are at the district office, and at this point, I call this meeting to order. This time, I'd like to recognize Bishop Sims and Kate Sheely, two B&L Middle School students who will lead us with our prayer and Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, thank you for giving us wonderful teachers, administrators, staff, and the essentials to learn. Thank you for providing us with the people who care for us and help us to never take that for granted. Please help others be as fortunate as us. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Kate and Bishop, for doing that for us. At this time, board members, we are at item 1.4, approval of the agenda. You had your agenda in your packets. Without objection, we will approve the agenda as presented. Agenda is approved. Item 1.5, approval of minutes for the April 16th, 2024 regular board meeting and for the April 23rd, 2024 board work session. Those were also in your packets. Without objection, we will approve those as presented. Those minutes are approved. Item 2.0, recognition. The Batesburg-Leesville Middle School Junior Scholars, Zane Davis, Kate Sheely, and Bishop Sims, recognized by Mackenzie Taylor, Director of Public Information and Community Relations.
Good evening, Madam Chair and fellow Board of Trustees members. It's a pleasure to be able to recognize 3 of our students from Batesburg-Leesville Middle School who have been named as Junior Scholars. The South Carolina Junior Scholars Program was developed by the South Carolina Department of Education during the 1985-1986 school year to reflect the statewide effort to improve education in South Carolina and to provide for the needs of students possessing exceptional academic talent. The purpose of the program is to identify these students and to provide opportunities that will facilitate their intellectual growth, broaden their individual interests, and promote their scholastic achievements. Students are invited to attend summer opportunities at participating South Carolina colleges, universities, and the Governor's School for Science and Math. Students who qualify to be named a South Carolina Junior Scholar must be in the 8th grade and have qualifying PSAT scores on the PSAT test that's given in October. Students must score a 550 or higher on the evidence-based reading and writing subtest of the PSAT or a 530 or higher on the math subtest. And we have 3 students from Batesburg-Leesville Middle School who are meeting these qualifications, and I invite them to join me up here this evening. Congratulations to Zane Davis, Kate Sheely, and Bishop Sims. Let's give them a round of applause. And we have some certificates for them. All right, Zane's not here. Certificates, we'll get Zane his, and some bumper stickers for their parents to put on their cars. We're going to take the picture very quickly. And Bishop, congratulations. Y'all step right here. I'm going to snap a photo real quick. All right. Thank you, guys. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations. Let me give you this. Let's give them a round of applause.
Congratulations to you, and I understand that those bumper stickers are in higher wants and needs than anything else. Those grandparents were ready for those, so congratulations. Item 2.0, Mackenzie, Lexington County School District 3 retirees.
Good evening again, Madam Chair. One of the joys of my job each year is to be able to present to the Board of Trustees the retiree class for each school year, and I'm excited to be able to do that again this evening. This year, we have 11 individuals who are retiring from Lexington 3 with no plans to return back to the classroom, but instead plans to go forth and enjoy some new adventures, and we're very excited for them. Collectively, these individuals have devoted more than 202 years of service to Lexington County School District 3 alone. That doesn't count any years of service that they might have given to other school districts. And from year to year, it's always very astounding to me to look at this number and to see the dedication that we have from our employees here to Lexington School District 3. I think it says a lot about the type of district we are, that so many people dedicate so much of their careers to being Panthers. So we're super excited for these individuals here. And without further ado, we will meet the 2024 Lexington 3 retirees. And I would like to point out that some of our retirees do shy away from recognition, so this is not a complete list. But retirees, if you are present here with us this evening, if you would like to, you can either stand at your seat when we call your name, or you're welcome to join me up front, whichever you are most comfortable with. So first up, we have Mr. Alvin Abner, a.k.a. Mr. Moon. Mr. Moon has worked for Batesburg-Leesville High School for 46 years as a custodian in our maintenance department. Come on up here, Mr. Moon.
Yes, ma'am.
Come on up
Thank
here.
you, ma'am.
He says he has two very fond memories of his time with us. The first was in 1979 when the Batesburg-Leesville High School football team won the state championship with a score of 14-0 against Woodruff High School under the leadership of Coach Ed Porter. And his second fondest memory was in 2016 when he was named as the recipient of the Panther Yearbook Award and was presented the award during a school assembly. Mr. Moon is a graduate of Batesburg-Leesville High School, and he says it was a joy to be able to give back to the school and the community that gave him so much. In his retirement, Mr. Moon looks forward to maintaining a healthy lifestyle, traveling, and also having no schedule. So, thank you, Mr. Moon, for your service to Lexington 3.
And thank you for all y'all done for me.
Thank you, Mr. Moon. Next, we have Miss Allison Cook. Ms. Cook has worked in the field of education for 23 years, with 8 of those being spent here in Lexington 3 at Batesburg-Leesville High School as a science teacher. She was named as the Batesburg-Leesville High School Teacher of the Year in 2019 and was also named as the District Teacher of the Year that same year. Her fondest memory of her time here actually involved just teaching her 2018-2019 AP Environmental class. She said that was her first year teaching AP classes, and those were first-time AP students, so they learned together, grew together, and really became a family. Ms. Cook says her greatest achievement while working as an educator has been influencing students to step outside of their comfort zones to achieve their goals and their dreams. Her plans in retirement include expanding her bee farm. So we thank Ms. Cook for her service to Lexington 3. Next, we have Ms. Jane Ann Derrick. Ms. Derrick has worked in the educational realm for 26 years, with 2 of those spent at Batesburg-Leesville Primary School as an instructional assistant in a 5-year-old kindergarten class. And she was actually my youngest son's assistant teacher last school year. Her fondest memory of her time spent with us is the warmth and acceptance she was shown when she came to Lexington 3 from a much larger neighboring district. Ms. Derrick says that her greatest achievement has been instilling a love of learning in the children that she taught, and she says that it has been a pleasure to teach in such a caring community as Batesburg-Leesville. Ms. Derrick plans to spend more time with her children and her grandchildren during her retirement, as well as do some traveling and work on restoring and remodeling her antique home. We send our congratulations to Ms. Jane Derrick. Next, we have Ms. Mary Graham Folks. She is also a member of this year's retiree class. She has been with us in Lexington 3 for the past 19 years, but has more than 26 years of experience in the field of education. Ms. Folks has worked at all 4 of our schools in the district as either a substitute teacher or instructional assistant, with her most recent position being an assistant in the computer science class at Batesburg-Leesville Elementary School. Her fondest memory of her time with us is attending the Special Olympics each year, and she says she will also miss the excitement of the first day of school with all of the hope and the joy that it brings to students and staff. Ms. Folks is looking forward to resting in her retirement as well as working in her church's youth enrichment program. She's also looking forward to traveling and fishing. We wish you the best, Ms. Graham Folks. Thank you for your service. Next, we have Ms. Donna Paget. Ms. Paget has worked in the educational field for 25 years, with all of those years having been spent here in Lexington 3 as our after-school program director. Looking back on her career, her fondest memories are of the relationships that she has built with the students who came through the after-school program, especially when she sees them around town and they come up and speak to her. She has also enjoyed seeing students thrive both academically and outside of school as a result of their time and experiences in the after-school program. Ms. Paget says she will miss all of the children she works with and her coworkers in retirement, but she's looking forward to spending more time with her family, her friends, and especially her grandson, who's pictured there on the screen. She said she's truly grateful to Lexington 3 for giving her the opportunity to give back to her hometown over the past 25 years and to be part of so many children's lives. So thank you, Ms. Donna, for your service. Next, we have Ms. Patricia Rogers with us. She's also one of our retirees, and she is leaving us after 40 years of service. She actually started subbing in the district in 1984 before becoming a bus driver in 1990. While she was a bus driver, she says she often enjoyed reading books to the children who were on her route while they were waiting for other children to board at the schools. Ms. Rogers says she was an only child and has enjoyed being able to connect with and help her students. Another fond memory that she shared with me is that she enjoyed watching her students as they grew up, and she loves it when her former students see her around town, like at Walmart, and they tell her that she was their bus driver. In her retirement, Ms. Rogers plans to spend more time with her children and grandchildren. You can see them pictured there. She has 12 grands and 3 great-grands, so she's going to be busy. She also looks forward to going camping with her husband and just relaxing. So thank you, Ms. Rogers, for all of your years of service. Next, we have Ms. Nancy Rowdy Bush. Ms. Rowdy Bush is leaving us after 24 years of service, all of which were spent here in Lexington 3 as a Panther. While in our district, she has served as a 3rd grade teacher, 4th grade teacher, a gifted and talented teacher, JV cheer coach, varsity sideline cheer coach, varsity competition cheer coach, a varsity boys soccer assistant coach, a varsity girls head soccer coach, and a varsity girls assistant soccer coach. She needs rest in retirement. Her fondest memory... You can't make a honey-do list, Mr. Bob. Her fondest memory of her time in Lexington 3 was winning the Palmetto's Finest Award at Batesburg-Leesville Elementary School back in 2018, and she considers her greatest achievement every child who succeeded in her classes. She says she enjoyed working in Lexington 3 and watching students grow through the years and even teaching second generations of families. During retirement, she's looking forward to spending more time with her grandchildren, spending time in her summer home in Pennsylvania, and doing wedding planning and coordinating with the Collective Company. So thank you, Ms. Rowdy Bush, for your service. Next, we have Ms. Diane Shepard. She's also a member of our retiree class this year, and she is entering retirement after serving as a bus aide for the past 3 years. Ms. Shepard says she enjoyed getting to know all of the kids on her route, and she thoroughly enjoyed working in Lexington 3. She says she specifically enjoyed working with the district because her granddaughter is a student here, and she got to know a lot of great people that she will most certainly miss. In her retirement, Ms. Shepard says she is looking forward to just enjoying herself and spending time with her grandkids. Thank you, Ms. Shepard. Congratulations on your retirement. Next, we have Coach Gary Smallin, and he is retiring from the classroom after 50 years of work in the educational field. And he was quick to point out to me that that is 100 semesters and 10 teaching recertifications. He has worked in Lexington 3 for 5 of those 50 years and will continue to serve the student athletes here in Lexington 3 in the coming years by helping to coach golf and football. He just won't be in the classroom. While in Lexington 3, Coach Smallin served as a PE teacher, athletic director, head football and golf coach, and assistant football and track coach. He says his fondest memory of his time here was watching his son win a state championship under Coach Phil Strickland, and that a very close second memory was when a current football player actually told him that he had coached his grandfather. Coach Smallin says Lexington 3 will forever be home to him and his wife, Linda, who has also dedicated 35 years of service to our school district. So we thank Coach Smallin for his service, and Miss Linda. And then finally, we have Ms. Nancy Swigert. Ms. Swigert is retiring after 25 years of service, with all 25 of those years having been spent as a Panther. Ms. Swigert served as a greeter at the high school and the primary school, and then she ended her career here as a bus driver. She says she enjoyed driving buses in Lexington 3 because she could drive her kids and her grandkids, but she also enjoyed meeting other students and creating a family with the students and coworkers. In her retirement, she's looking forward to traveling. So we thank Ms. Nancy Swigert for her service. We look forward to continuing our retiree celebrations tomorrow afternoon with a drop-in that we are hosting at our brand new Panther Arena on the campus of Batesburg-Leesville High School. From 4:30 to 6:30, so we have invited all of our retirees and their families to join us for that. This will be the first formal event that we get to have in our new space, so we're very excited to create special memories for our retirees with that, and we look forward to all of them coming tomorrow afternoon. Retirees, thank you all again for your service, and we wish you nothing but the best as you embark on your new journey. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mackenzie. And from the Board of Trustees, thank you all for your service and your dedication to our district and all you have done. At this time, we will move on to our consent items. Item 3.1, the financial report with Ms. Roden.
Good evening. You each received your cash balance analysis and revenue and income statements in your packets for the month of April. April was a high revenue month. March ended the quarter, so we filed our federal claims. So you saw on your cash balance analysis all the federal revenue that we collected. We also received Tier 1, the 10% balance in that as well. Did you have any specific questions about this month's revenue and expenditure statements? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Roden. This time, we will move on to item 3.2, Superintendent's Report with Dr. Ashley Atkinson.
Thank you. As you all know, our gym was recently approved for occupancy, so it's all set and ready to go for graduation next week. We do have a few items that we have to, some punch list items, but it is really spectacular, and we're looking forward to unveiling it for the first time this Friday after the Panther Prow and then the college and career signing. We'll have it inside there that will be our first event as we unveil it for our seniors. Of course, as you know, graduation commencement will be on Friday the 24th at 7, and then adult ed graduation commencement ceremony will be the following week at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, May the 28th. Some other activities for our seniors: the baccalaureate service will be at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, May the 15th at Christ Community Church. And our senior awards night will be at 6 p.m. on May the 22nd in the Fine Arts Center. I know we've sent some of this information to you all, but we're very proud of our high school being named one of the 10 best Columbia or Midlands area high schools by the U.S. News and World Report. So each year, the U.S. News and World Report, they rank all the high schools in the United States. They do go through all 50 states. And this year, 17,660 high schools were ranked. Of those 17,660 high schools, 42 of them were ranked in the Midlands, and then of those 42, we were in the top 10. The things that determine your overall score are college readiness, state assessments, underserved student populations, your college curriculum, and your graduation rate. So we're very proud and thankful for the high school for making that list, and Mackenzie is publicizing that, continue to do so. Claudia Pollard is a third grade teacher at the elementary school, and she was recently named the WLTX News 19 Teacher of the Week. She's an excellent teacher, and When we went in to surprise her, she was teaching a lesson on fractions, and I noticed several of the people with me were really listening really closely, trying to see if they could understand fractions for the first time. But anyway, she does a wonderful job, and Libby Crowell was the first one named this year our art teacher at the primary school, so that's 2 for this year for our district. I hope you were able to attend Beauty and the Beast Junior at the Fine Arts Center on April 27th. It's always, whatever the elementary school produces, it's always an amazing event. It never ceases to surprise and amaze everyone how great the productions are. I mean, it's Broadway worthy. So I just wanted to do a shout out and thank you to Christian Pugh, her assistant directors, and all the volunteers and all of our talented students that made it such a great performance. For the second year in a row, our middle school and our high school bands were named, flip too many pages. Were named received the Outstanding Performance Award. And this is award, it's the highest award given by the South Carolina Band Directors Association. And this award is determined by their performance in marching band championships, all-state and region band, concert performance assessments, and also solo and ensemble. So again, we're thankful and proud of our bands for the second year in a row winning this prestigious award. On May the 1st, our dual enrollment students from the high school participated in the Midlands Technical College commencement exercises. So we had 19 students who earned a general studies certificate, which means they completed a minimum of 18 college credit hours, and we had 13 students receive their Associate of Arts degree, which means they completed a minimum of 63 college credit hours, or really half of a 4-year degree. Since 2020, our high school students have earned 84 associate's degrees and 200 general studies certificates. And going back to the new U.S. News and World Report ranking, this is a major part of us being ranked in that top 10 for college readiness and dual enrollment and dual credit. Once again, we were able to provide free athletic physicals for our high school and our middle school students, athletes, and that occurred on April 11th, April 16th, and we were able to provide physicals for 221 student athletes. I just want to say thank you to Dr. Cooper Gunner and his team at the Batesburg-Leesville Primary Care Facility. We also had student athletes participate in the Heart of the Panther, so we provided free cardiovascular screenings on April 29th and 30th, and we had 62 student athletes that were able to participate and receive their free screening. And last but not least, I just want to say thank you to Mackenzie Taylor for all the work that she does, but she recently attended the Spring Awards for Excellence luncheon sponsored by the South Carolina chapter of the National School Public Relations Association. And our district received 6 awards, which basically means that she did such a great job in these 6 areas, and many more that we were recognized for these awards. So we won an award for our Meet the Teacher of the Year video, of course, in video category. We also won an award for our communication plan, our Panther Press newsletter, our district calendar, and our district website. So just want to thank her for all the work she's done, and again, for getting us that recognition, but always the way she portrays our school district and makes this the place to be. So thank you again. And that's all.
That's good. All right, thank you. Now, 4.0, public participation. Any cards, Jennifer? No cards? All right, then we will move on to our action items under 5.0. 5.1 is going to be second reading approval of the Lexington School District 3 2025-2026 calendar with Ms. Mackenzie Taylor and Ms. Sonia Bryant.
Good evening, Madam Chair. Ms. Bryant and I are bringing forth for second reading approval this evening the proposed 2025-2026 calendar that we presented to you all in detail in April. There have been no changes since then, but we are happy to answer any questions that you might have.
All right, any questions from anyone? No questions?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we give second reading approval of the Lexington School District 3 2025-2026 school calendar as presented by the administration.
I have a motion from Ms. Balknight for second reading approval of the Lexington School District 3 2025-2026 school calendar as presented by the administration. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second with Ms. Derrick. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you all so
ladies.
much. Thank you.
All right, we will move on to item 5.2, the first reading approval of the proposed 2024-2025 budget with Ms. Roden.
Good evening once again. Oops, okay, thank you. Now we'll have our first reading. We just had our public hearing 30 minutes ago. It's going to be the same information, and I think we have about the same people, but I will still go through it a little hurriedly, but I will still hit all the highlights. Our 135-day attendance report, we have stable population. We're down 34 students over a 10-year period. We also have 104 pre-K students that are in our enrollment, not in these numbers. Where are we spending our money next year? Our original budget is $28 million, and we will be adding our teacher salary schedule. All employees will receive a minimum of 2%. What we did was we applied 2% to our existing classified and other schedules that are currently approved, and people would be eligible for a step, and they'll receive that 2% if they're eligible. The state minimum teacher salary is now $47,000. We are proposing to start our new teachers at $47,500. We have made substitute pay adjustments and adjustments for the paid maternity leave that we now do for the employees. Our employer fringe is supposed to increase 11.8% beginning January 25th, but there should be no increase to the employee. We have increased our athletic and academic stipends $50 per cell. They're a 30-year step sale. We are adding wrestling next year, so we'll be adding wrestling head coaches at the high school and middle and some assistants for those positions. And we're also going to hire a game day tech coordinator, which will help with the scoring and stuff and needs at the high school. We will add avid tutoring and some intercession weeks, those 2 weeks that we close in the fall and spring. We also offer some support for 8 of those days. The dropout prevention coordinator was previously funded with ESSER money. We have to absorb that position into the general fund. We currently have our assistant principal athletic director as 1 FTE. We'll be splitting that and adding a 1 FTE to make it 2 positions. We're adding an occupational therapist to salary and fringe, but it's actually a wash because that was previously a purchased service. And we are deleting the after-school program coordinator position as that grant ends this year. We're adding the iReady software program that Mrs. Bryant spoke about at last board meeting, and we are expecting increases to property insurance and energy costs since we've added square footage at both the high school and primary schools. And we're also adding money for background checks and banking fees. And the food service transfer is something we currently do, but it's just accounted for differently, so it is a plus here. That brings us to $29.8 million for next year's expenditure budget. This slide shows how it is split up. You get this on your expenditure statement, your monthly revenue and expenditure statement. The 100 categories are face-to-face instruction, the 200s are support staff, and the 300 are community responsibilities. How is this $29.8 million broken apart? 85% of it is for salaries and fringes. We're people, we're here to serve students, so that's the bulk of your expenditures. The remaining are supplies, capital outlay, and purchase services. And that 15%, the majority of the increase there is the energy increase. That's in the 400 series categorized as supplies and materials. Okay, how are we going to fund this? The revenue side. We're anticipating an increase to local funds just out of regular growth and assessments in the district. We're bus driver salaries, $61,000, and the state aid to classrooms. This is based on the House Ways and Means money that's been, the forecast that's been put out there, and we're expecting the Act 388 to increase $173,000. This brings our revenues to $29.8 million, but of that, should we spend all 29.8, and on the expenditure side, we would have to, we anticipate having to spend an estimated $2.3 million of our existing fund balance. And that's how it looks on the revenue and expenditure statements that you receive each time. We do have an option to increase operating millage for next year. The law says we can increase the current CPI figure plus any growth. We would be eligible to increase 11.6 mills for this next year. You can also go back and recapture any mills not levied in the prior 3 years. So our maximum millage increase would be 49.94, should that be what you choose to do. The administration is recommending a 0 mill increase for next year, and we have used the estimated general fund balance of 2.3 should that become necessary. But since we have a healthy fund balance at this point, we are recommending a 0 fund tax mill increase and approval of the $29.8 million revenue and expenditure budget. Do you have any questions?
All right.
Chair, I make a motion that we grant first reading approval of proposed 2024-2025 budget as presented by Ms. Rhodes.
We have a motion to give first reading approval of the proposed 24-25 budget as presented by the administration. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second for Mr. Botnick. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Ms. Roden. All right, at this time, we have item 5.3 and 5.4 that we're going to do together, and this will be first reading approval of policy GCCAAA, sick bank leave, and first reading approval of policy GCCAAA-R, sick leave bank, by Ms. Bryant.
Thank you, Ms. Burgess. We've had some discussion in, I think, 2 board meetings ago about the sick leave bank and maybe some solutions to some issues we were having. One of the central issues that we're having with the sick leave bank is that folks don't necessarily want to serve on that committee. So the administration would like to recommend the change, the only real significant change in this policy is the makeup of that committee. Rather than being made up with just general representatives from each facility, it would be made up of the 4 principals, the director of lifelong learning, and the assistant superintendent for personnel and instruction, to alleviate the pressure of someone teaching next door to you making decisions about leave. Other than that, there are just title changes just to update where we are, as this has not been updated since 1998.
All right, thank you, Ms. Bryant. We have heard Ms. Bryant. Any questions? Any discussions?
Madam Chair, I make a motion we give first reading approval of policy GCCAA, sick leave bank, and policy GCCAA-R, sick leave bank as presented.
We have a motion from Mr. Kaufman to give first reading approval of policy GCCAAA, sick leave bank, and policy GCCAAA-R, sick leave bank. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Carey. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. We are now going to move on to items 5.5 through 5.8 as Ms. Bryant presents first reading approval for policy CA, CBD, CBI, and CFA.
Thank you. The real issue in these policies, these are just 4 policies that are all grouped under administration goals and priority objectives. And in an effort to update our policies, these, I just really submitted the 3 of them, the one except for CBI, are really for your review. And there are some slight grammatical changes that we needed to make in order to align them with other policies and just a formatting English grammar sort of manner. But with CBI, we felt the need to make a specific delineation of when the superintendent's evaluation would occur. So we added the month of the October as our recommendation for that, so that the board and the superintendent will know exactly when that will take place.
Thank you. You have heard Ms. Bryant's presentation. Do we have any questions, discussion?
Madam Chair, I make a motion we school principals, building administrators as presented.
All right, we have a motion from Mr. Kaufman to give first reading approval of policy CBD, superintendent's contract. Excuse me, I forgot one. Policy CA, administration goals and priority objectives. Policy CBD, superintendent's contract. Policy CBI, evaluation of superintendent. And policy CFA, school principals, building administration, as presented by the administration. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Ms. Derrick. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes
you.
unanimously. Thank you. This time, we will move on to item 5.9, first reading approval of policy ADF, district wellness, with Mr. Beatonbow.
Thank you, Madam Chair, school board members, Dr. Atkinson. I'm bringing to you to update our policy, ADF wellness policy. This was updated February of 2020. We're updating this policy to align with the latest South Carolina Department of Education guidelines and United States Department of Agriculture, USDA. These updates are recommendations to achieve what the regulations require, the objectives and measurable goals for nutrition education, nutrition promotion, physical activity, and other school-based activities. In order for us to receive federal funding for our child nutrition program, we're required to maintain and update this federal policy according to USDA. So I bring to you the changes. We're actually in compliance with all of these changes as we are now. 2 years ago, we got, and we'll be coming back in 2025, updating this policy again, unfortunately, when the regulations change again. But we need to update now to get in compliance with the State Department of Education.
All right.
Any questions?
Got any questions, discussions?
Madam Chair, I'd like to recommend that we give first reading approval to policy ADF, action item 5.9, district wellness, as recommended by the administration.
All right, we have a motion from Ms. Carey to do first reading approval of policy ADF, district wellness, as presented by the administration. Do I have a second? Second by Dr. Gunger. Any discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, we are at item 6.0, executive session.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we move into executive session to discuss student appeal and the discussion of personnel matters and capital outlay.
We have a motion from Ms. Balknight to go into executive session to discuss a student appeal and discuss personnel matters and capital outlay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Carey. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion passes unanimously. We are now in executive session.